Now, what the industry people are expressing is that, can we come up with some kind of model, some kind of interaction, some kind of collaboration, cooperation between the industry and the institution in such a way that right from the day one, the student is able to contribute. They say that we don't have the time to train your people. Prasad is absolutely right. You know something about what Maslow said or what somebody else has said. They are not concerned about that. Value and deliver, and that's it. Now, can you and me, you in the sense the industry and the Work Institute, sit together across the table and look at the ground realities and start working and make our students such a way that right from the day one they start contributing. One is to work with. Last time also you made this point. I think this we need to take it a step further. Though we said it, still remains on the paper only. Because the academicians are not particular wisdom, how it takes place. As a placement coordinator, what is it my students learn from you? Shasha sir has come, Shasha sir has left. So can we work out on a process where yes, they really students learn something from these visits of the Starbucks?
Very large customer and they are an academic institution, working professionals. This is for students. The idea is one day an expert from the field would come in. So they defined that the global leader of tomorrow, I just remember some of them from my memory and I put down, that they should be aware of KM, they should be aware of intellectual capital management, they should be aware of relationship management, supply chain management and so on and so forth. Typically you would go through all those in your classes anyway, right? But you don't get the industry side or entrepreneurship. So what they do is they get one day, two practitioners to spend half a day each. They will come with a complete perspective from their own organization, discuss it in the form of a case study with the students. The whole day these students are there on campus and working with them. Then they take out, the whole thing is shot on video because you can't keep getting these guys every year. So the next year is some other program. So they capture this on video, they convert it into an e-learning program which is available for future generations of students who will pass. It's not very difficult in your case because you're going to ask for Hyderabad has many industries, or you can even get people brought in from some of the other cities. You can get experts. For example, I know when they did KM, they got a global head of knowledge management to come down. He flew in from US to do the course. That one day that is spent. They're anyway passing through UK, so they figure out a time which is convenient for most of them to come to. For supply chain management, they got the head of FedEx to come and speak. So it's real high level interaction with people who have the practical background. So that is something which you can definitely target, one or two such programs in a year, which gets you a holistic picture of how the industry operates or how a particular segment operates. The other thing that you can do, which some of them do, is they do a parallel teacher. Like for example, let's say I'm marketing or something, you have a marketing professor here who can give all the classroom stuff. Plus, they have their own exposure of research, so they can build very powerful case studies. But if 10% of the credit hours is managed by a professional who's from the industry, right? You're not going to have too much time from it or from her, whoever the person is. So if you can blend a 10% of the course is delivered by a person who parallels the teacher. See, ultimately, we know that these are accredited programs, so you have your norms to meet, you have whatever your learning objectives are, and so on and so forth. The professional might come with a completely tangential approach, which may not want. But if you can parallel the teacher, then you will get a sync and a good blend. It may not be a very powerful blend, but definitely 10% is better than nothing. Or you can get two people in and get a 20% blend. So something like that. You can also blend the program itself. Today, since I travel extensively internationally, classroom is definitely not more than 60%. In most good universities, internationally, classroom is only about 60%. They all blend it. Sometimes they blend only 40% of classroom. And they all blend it with many other activities, including your industry interactions, your case studies. There are deliberate projects that they have to do. Live projects along with like for example, let's say a marketing team, if there is a brand launch happening somewhere, some of the students get attached to the brand launch, and that's how they learn. And the industry does welcome it because ultimately, like what some of them are saying, I want the talent ready. or at least half cooked and not completely raw. So they will be very. I remember when I was in IIM and Goldflake Kings was launched in Calcutta, there were 20 of us who worked in the launch. So for 30 days, we all took permission to miss all the morning sessions because that's when the bulk of the distribution and the activity will take place. So for 30 days, we were allowed to run the morning sessions, 20 of us, and work with the field force. So that's how we learn distribution. Otherwise, when we get into the industry, we don't know what genuine distribution is all about. So that's something you can do. You can also ask, like for example, right now we are helping ArcelorMittal build case studies with professors from here, right? They have the industry perspective. So I get ArcelorMittal executives regularly to fly into India and give sessions in IIMs, give sessions in ISB. Now we're trying to do the reverse, that the faculty in campuses, ISB and IIM, will build them case studies which they can deliver globally in their training program. So that's the reverse thing that we are trying to do. Because very often what happens is they all come from a very strong, do perspective and not enough think perspective, which the campus can bring. So that's the blend that we are trying to help them achieve. So they are open. Industries are definitely open as long as you come with the right model and the right way that you can help them. Coming from the student side, one thing that I think we can do, since we're talking about employability, which we tried to do with Citibank when I was in Bombay in GMI long back, we tried to do that with Citibank, is spend a day in the life of. Very often you don't know whether the first job that you're going to get is the right job, right? And that's what we were saying, that the first job, if it's then you're in deep trouble because you will change out of force, and then the second change will be probably a worse off change, and then you're cascadingly you're going down and into a pit. So you could maybe approach 20, 25 different companies. Somebody who's, let's say if it's marketing, I have pharma marketing, I have FMCG marketing, I have telecom or whatever. And then get a day in the life of, so that they can parallel a sales guy out there, they can parallel a marketing guy out there. So something like that, which is an interesting blend even for the students to do. And from the faculty side, like what you were saying, train the trainer program is something definitely they can do. And they can bring in the theoretical base, which our trainers have as the practical side. So if you can, from your side, volunteer a day, right? Maybe there's not too much of a revenue model in this either way. Or maybe there could be some revenue model. Some company might be definitely willing to look at it as a consulting assignment and build it too. Where you can. And the other idea which came from him on induction, why can't we have in-campus induction? If you're the placement manager, you could offer a unique value proposition to your customer. Say that if you hire 10 people from my campus, right, I will have an in-campus induction, which can start, 30 days in advance or whatever, so that they can hit the job from day one. So at least they don't need to be inducted, they need to be only trained in the job. Maybe that is something you can think of. Today there's a lot of online induction. We have done the online induction for RPG Group, for Infosys HR, for many companies. ArcelorMittal's online induction. People are comfortable with online induction. You could have streamed from the company side. You could have experts flying in once in a while. So that will give you a longer interaction period with the corporate too. So these are some of my thoughts while we were all talking, I captured.
As students. Today, if you have to get 10 projects as students, it's a bigger task. You have to get one professor a task. There's more faith in the corporate to give to the professor. And in turn, he gets a very practical exposure to the corporate. And then comes back and works with the students to deliver the project. It becomes a consulting assignment. It's a revenue model. 10 guys get involved. And first time, the teaching faculty gets exposed together. And first time, they get exposed to their own ignorance. And first time, they get to know that they would unlearn before they learn. And in all students or faculty or even working managers, the biggest problem is to unlearn. All of you are teaching learning. I'm sure all of us are speaking about how to learn. I want a program which will make people unlearn. In every organization is talking about attrition. Attrition happens because people are not learning. They are not adapting themselves to situations. They all come with a mindset. If you ask my students then, what do you want at the end of the session? 6 lakhs per annum, sir. That's the usual mindset. Why should I pay 6 lakhs, sir? Last year they got 5.5, 10% increase, 6 lakhs. It's mathematics. But But what are you doing for 6 lakhs? It doesn't matter, sir. And as is a professor, we are rated 8, we are above IITs. But that is on the intellectual capital of the faculty. And many times now it's a good benchmark to say at the 8th in terms of intellectual faculty. But when we come to the campus, we expect the same from the students. They must be at the top. But if there is a gap between the quality of the students and the quality of the ranking, we will come and recruit professors. We are recruiting faculty everywhere. So some of you want to look for jobs and doctors. That's a big task of unlearning. So I said in 3 months, the second option is students' interaction. Biggest problem is employability, and whether it be engineering, MBA schools, offers are made 3 to 6 months in advance. And in the 3 months, last 3 months, when the offer is made, you create a curriculum that will meet those demands. There will be 5 companies who create a curriculum. They represent the institution. And if you think that they represent the individual, they are party right, but when they go as an IPE. And therefore, they must be more company specific, more than industry. They must even become company specific. And I'm sure companies are more than willing to come and train you because there's no training cost for them. They don't have to pay you salaries. Right? And 3, you are available. At the end of 3 months, they don't like you, they can withdraw the offer. So the pressure is on you to perform. So that's one of the key things that students have to go through and insist on the companies that are coming to your campus saying, we are willing to learn, can you bring your faculty to start learning? We'll stretch from 9 to 12 in the night. He said, now you got an offer, boss, this is the time to stop studying from now, you got a job, you cross 60%, those days are gone. Trying to Lehman Brothers, all that are gone. You got to work hard. The third thing for the students who are passing on, when you go out, one is the competition. He says all of us should get the same compensation, not possible. The title that you carry over a period of time is a reflection of you. Right? Don't always ask for what is the title that you give me. Ask for what is the role. Will it enhance my knowledge? Will it help me improve and better than anybody else? Can I become a vice president? Anybody can become a vice president. There is no problem. If I see, I go by MD to MD. Dr. Abdul Kalam has said something better. In between there is an MD. MP can become. He wants all of us to become MPs and get into politics. Right? It needs an attitude. I think the change in attitude has to happen both on the faculty end, both on the student end. And industry is more than willing because they are the most affected today. If Infosys is spending 700 crores on training people, who wants to spend shareholders 700 crores of money? Right? There is a purpose. If working together, I think there is enough also.
I think the point is that I would like the professor of
something like a campus speaker. In case some kind of linkage is established with industry, at least he becomes an industry-friendly, industry-oriented person. And once he is fully equipped with both the theoretical inputs as well as the practical orientation, whatever he is receiving weekly, once or twice, as the case may be, one can always try to make out a good career. And probably this is a very good idea what Sridhar has talked about. Once somebody has been picked up for a particular organization well ahead of his academic completion, he can always go and learn about the organization. Like we also see every organization becomes they wanted a ready-made person to act from the day one he gets into the seat. Because like I often say with the Shastri sir in our interactions, people not only have a lot of aspirations, but we also say one should also be able to perspire enough to reach those aspirations. So in that way, probably one thing is the practical touch and also going through the e-induction programs, which we are also trying to have with the DMI. And so that person is made industry oriented and his deliverables will become more known to him by the time he enters the system. These are the few thoughts I thought I would share, so the rest can be formulated in the person.
I have no doubt about it. The second point I have thought in my mind is we need to get working on sabbatical on both sides. Maybe let's say roughly about industry side, maybe about 5 to 10% of people, academic side about 20% of people spending 3 months in the other organizations. That would help us for both of us to learn this. Third point I have is mentoring by the industry. pick up one or two students or one faculty, where we meet only monthly and just start discussions that might help us to grow together. And the fourth point I have is industry adopting one of the disciplines, depending on their and line of operation, they can think about it and adopting. And thereby we really generate a close synergy and really work, and thereby you get day one productive people. And the next point I have is suggestion to the academic side. Can we have classes in the morning 8 to 12 and afternoon 2 to 8 is boys and girls who are in the industry. There is practical experience. And so at the end of the 2-year program of the MBA, they really productive day one.
What happens in symbiosis?
Yeah, I know. Yes, yeah. And the last point I have is students. Students should not look at day one earning. They should look at learning most of it. I have gone through that kind of model. First couple of years, I spent more time on learning, and earning is followed. Thanks.
In fact, you just to add that learning, if you spell it, there are the L word for learning. And nobody cares for that learning. If you have this joint even IT course, you pay. But when you come to corporate, you expect salary. For 1 year, don't expect salary, there will be good learning.
You'll be putting lot.
We learn from each other more than learn from faculty. If learning from each other is a better model, so to be fair to the students with somebody with experience, there are two simple models. One, we encourage actively more and more evening programs, and students get attached to somebody in that program. So it means the people who come from with experience, when they come, they don't know how to use the internet, they don't know how to do their projects, they're struggling to submit data, and they don't know how to manage it because they're busy on the job. So I will become an understudy to one of the groups in the program. Reality, they are facing the reality and being a conceptual framework. There is one value add we can do, but that means the students have to spend their evenings attached to some other group. The second one I think is even more important. The batch which passes on, go to the reality.
From the evening MBA program, we had a brainstorming session that the syllabus may not be completely defined because what the industry requires, they have to tune up. So we want to have representation from the industry in terms of participation, competition of service. That is quite essential.
I'll just tell you, I think Ram, you can compliment. A few of the pharma companies have come together and set up a school for all the MSc postgraduates who have qualified with honors and distinctions with more than 75%, 80%, but they are not ready to be chemists, basically. Whatever has been taught in 3 years of BSc and another 2 years of MSc, probably 1 year or 1.5 years of MPhil, the industry finds that it is not relevant, which is named as Indian School of Chemical Biology. What this school does is it gives one year of training to make them hands-on chemists. So why it cannot actually happen within the MSc curriculum? Or starting from the BSc plus MSc, they can as well become industry ready in these 5 years. So what you are studying for these 5 years plus including your MPhil students also, they get trained in ISCB just to become industry ready and to be accepted into the industry. So what is happening on one way is obsolescence of the knowledge of the chemistry they are learning inside the academic institutes, and they are spending for that as a corrective action, they are learning going to another school for 1 more year to actually undo whatever they have learned as far as the theoretical chemistry is concerned, and learning something which is useful, that is hands-on chemistry. So it's very strange for me actually, to find that, and therefore taking the point from there, why don't we adopt such kind of it's very, very important so that it will be more industry oriented. We are not it per se, but rather it is an application elsewhere for the larger good of humanity through industry.
Yeah. That's where I would create from syllabus, it becomes an Asoka inscription. Not just they would like to have, like the freedom that you feel enchained within the organization, the seed of a thought, which I am sure Dr. Mishra would like to have a separate brainstorming, where possibly a whole day can be devoted, but we are yet to address the second issue. Before I go, Dr. Srivastava.
Responsibility to help each other. See, the institutes are supplying very correct graduates to the industry. So they are getting, trained material. So what is the responsibility of the industry? Are they visiting the campus? Are they just conducting one seminar to tell the students what they require? Is it not a social responsibility of industry people? as teachers we are ready. We are ready to come to you, we are ready to provide the conceptual base, and our directories encourages that. So because any company executive to other students, they say they are very busy. But they should also remember that there is an institution, they have to help the student community. So at least there is an opportunity of coming to the campus. When the invitation comes from the college for inaugurating a seminar or address the students, they should consider their what you can say, very social responsibility, a divine responsibility. Because it is an opportunity to pay back to the institution. It need not be to the same institution, but any other institution. They should come to the campus, address the students, motivate the students, and tell the students what they want. And I also am happy with the idea that you should provide the curriculum what the industry wants. If the requirements are known at least 2 to 3 months in advance, we are ready to provide that also.
For 10-year MBA survey for B-Pattern, we asked a very simple question: what percentage of what you learn in the campus is relevant? Nothing to do with syllabus. I am not aware of any single company which asks questions on financial theories in interviews. The first 180 days of job, nobody is asking you any fundamental conceptual question. This is not about MBBS where the real life case comes in front of you. You are actually behind so many people who manage this life. The issue is not syllabus. I think the primary issue, and again,